up, ladies, gents, girls with lace fronts, dudes with kids? It's the one and only You Can't Clone Me Queen, baby. And right now, we are about to get into episode 2 of Put a Ring on It. So let's go. Now that we are on the second episode, we know that Eric has said he doesn't want to go on another date with Shamaria because he feels like what she brings to the table is so similar to what he already has with Jessica, so it would be pointless to continue on with her. Shon says he doesn't want to go on another date with Rachel because he feels like she's too perfect for him, which just sounds off to me and clearly to LaRonda as well. But he felt like going on another date with Rachel will put him in a situation where it shakes up and adds on problems with him and LaRonda. But his excuse is so skeptical because what he is fighting against not going on the date is the whole point of the process, to shake things up and see how far you will go. That way we as a couple can go back to the drawing board and finally say this will or will not work, period. Hello? And speaking of will or will not work, bring us to Darian, who finally reveals that he wants to go on another date with Kai. So of course my girl Alessia got offended because she feels like he gonna keep trying to go on these dates with Kai and it's gonna start looking like he is building a relationship with her. And if that's the case, they need to end everything right now, right? Now, if y'all watch my first episode recap, you kind of know that I am not feeling Miss Kai and Darian together. Mainly Darian, because he is just taking that no boundaries part of dating someone else to a whole nother level. Because when he is out with Kai, he is so comfortable with her to the point you would think they are already in a relationship. But when he gets home to Alessia, he tries to downplay the vibes between him and Kai. But now that he is going on this second date with her, it ain't much downplaying he can do. Because there is clearly something about her that has him going and coming back. And it is so crazy because Kai has a good chill personality like Alessia, but their physical appearance is totally different. Alessia is more toned and you can tell she works out, and that comes from her basketball background. But Miss Kai body is built and paid for, baby. And not in a bad way, but it's a big difference from Alessia. Big difference. But anyways, when Alessia starts to express how she feels about Darian going on the second date, Dr. Nicole tells her that she is being very defensive. But I mean, who wouldn't, honestly? Like, be for real, Dr. Nicole. If your dude of 14 years out here saying he wants to continue going on multiple dates with someone, it seems real skeptical. Like, Alessia needs to be on high alert about that because clearly it is something in her that he likes, which is the whole point of the process. And I personally don't mind him going on a date, but it's just like Darian, like, it's just him. Like, I don't trust him. I just want Alessia to go out and do her. That way she can know what's what with their relationship, and she don't have him dragging her along for any longer, because that's what it seems like he is doing now. So maybe this process will be the end all be all. Now that we know what the boys are now doing, it is time for the ladies to go on their first date. So Jessica went on a date with this guy Brandon. He was handsome. Nothing about him was similar to Eric but his height. But when he came to the house to get Jessica, baby, Eric was teed up. He had done closed the door in the man's face, and he just did not care. Granted, he was just doing that to make Jessica feel some type of way, but honestly, I don't think he was as pressed as he was trying to make himself seem. But of course, Jessica liked it because it seems like he is jealous, and I mean, who don't want that man to feel a little, a little jealous? Just a tad bit, But on the date, the both of them are having pretty good conversation. Of course, he is asking about their relationship and what is the problem that have them going through this process of dating other people. And she lets him know that she wants to go further with Eric, but he is the one that is keeping them stagnant. But she also takes a little accountability for not really having full trust in him 100%, which is so crazy to me because why are you the one so ready and in a rush to get married and you don't even trust this man? Like, that literally no sense. And that is the reason why he wants to wait. I believe he feels that if Jessica can't trust him, how can they even move forward? Which is true. But also, during their conversation, Brandon tells Jessica that he never had a girlfriend. And I just know for a fact that was like a turnoff. Like, I'm trying to get married. You ain't never have a girlfriend, baby. Ain't nothing we can do with each other at this point. Granted, she didn't show it, but by him saying that he never had a girlfriend only showed how he clearly never had any real commitment to someone. Like, sir, you just out here dating on vibes at 32 for no sense of purpose? But I mean, to each his own. Now let's get into Alexia and her date. Before the guy get there, her and Darian are talking, and she is saying how she hopes that the guy don't know who Darian is and don't ask for his autograph. And it's like, girl, please. Nobody do not know who his ass is. Let's be for real. I mean, his little group has some songs and they won like a Grammy and stuff, but come on, man. Come on. But maybe people do know him, especially in the Atlanta area. But I just think that should be the least of her worries. Like, girl, what? So finally, the guy gets there, and his name is Chris. He is 41 and a fitness guy, which is good because it is something I believe that Alexia can relate to. But when he goes to knock on the door, Darian answers and let him in, and he ain't even gonna try to act like he jealous like Eric did with Jessica. He was straight cool about the situation, like, shit, y'all two have a good time. He probably was happy to get her out the house so his ass can sneak and text hot. He think he's slack. But when Chris got there, Alexia wasn't even ready. Like, girl, now you know you should have been gone now. Taking all that long time, making it seem like you low-key did when I want to go. So all three of them talking. So she asks Chris, do he know who Darian is? And Chris says, I never seen that man a day in my life. And she get all happy like, girl, okay, he don't know who Darian is, who Smoke is, girl. But finally, they get to go on their date, and in her confessional, she talks about how compatible her and Chris are, and they looking like they're having a good time. And I was so happy for her because since 14 years with Darian has to be hell. But clearly, she likes him because she's stuck and is sticking beside him. Now let's get into LaRonda. So before she goes on her date, she has an at-home visit with Dr. Nicole and Shon so they can discuss their relationship and what they need to work on. So they jump straight into one of their biggest problems, which is their finances. They both just operate them differently, and that is mainly because his income is inconsistent and it makes him feel inferior and sad because it is showing that he isn't successful in his field. And his low, slow days of income makes him feel like a bum. But the thing is, Jessica doesn't feel as pressed about his income as he does. He's an entrepreneur, he's an entertainer, like he hosts and he's a comedian. Like, I'm sure she's not expecting him to have all his money. And granted, it can be because she is with him for other things beyond money. And granted, also, he not broke. So she ain't complaining. And I think she understands his situation and is sticking it out with him because she sees his potential of becoming great. I just think he has to get out of his own head. On top of that, he is battling the feelings of being less of a man and worthless because he isn't a sole provider in the relationship. And he says that mindset comes from his parents' relationship. And this is where he loses me, okay? Because he had me and then he lost me. So in the session, Shon told Dr. Nicole that his father was a provider to his mother. His father just wasn't around and present in his life. So he watched his mom struggle asking his dad for help. But I am confused because if your father was a provider, even though him and your mom wasn't together, how does that compare to the situation of you and LaRonda? Because y'all problem is that you are not the provider. So, what? It didn't, like 2 and 2 wasn't making 4, it was like making 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So he is comparing his situation of his parents to his relationship with LaRonda, and they are not the same. It seems like all his problems come from his own lack of confidence and work ethic. Because if we are being honest, if you want more money to be a provider and feel like you are not worthless, then that means you need to work harder, period. is leaving some things out because it's not adding up to me. It's not. But anyways, we finally get into LaRonda going on her date. Lord Jesus, Shon is just so sensitive, y'all. He really is. Before the guy even got there, it just seemed like he was about to have a whole breakdown. Like, the man didn't even get there yet. Hey. And I know I talked about Eric showing fake concern when it came to Jessica and her date, but Shon's emotions was real. Like, I can tell he is a sensitive, emotional man. And he cried in the coaching session that he had with Dr. Nicole, so he don't hide it, which is cool, and he admits to it as well. So I can respect that. But, all right, like, come on, for real, like, he do too much. But let me not say that, because some girls like emotional men, and I feel like he can show emotion, but it's like we'll get deep into it later on in the season. But anyways, we get into the introduction of LaRonda's date, and Lord Jesus, they done set her up with a guy named John, who is a singer-songwriter. Basically, he's a starving artist just like Shon. And it's like, no, I don't want her dating anyone like that or similar to Shon. I want her dating someone with more stability in their life, someone that she can compare to on that level and see how she meshes with them. But on her date with John, he clearly was nervous or very, very hot because he was sweating like crazy. That is irrelevant, but it was so noticeable. Anyways, LaRonda was showing that she was enjoying their date in the beginning and they were just really enjoying each other's company and showing how fun and silly each of them can be. There was even one point in the date where he broke out in song, y'all. Basically singing about the date and how he expected it to go, and John sounded good, but he honestly could have kept the song, okay? But clearly he wanted someone to see and sign him from the show because he even said he trying to put a ring on it. Put a ring on it. No pun, but pun intended. I personally would have laughed and found it funny, but LaRonda seemed to thoroughly enjoy it. Good for her. Now that we have seen all the girls go on their date, it is time for them to talk about it in front of the group. Now, what I will say is that the girls were way more subtle on their dates compared to the guys, who was acting like they were just having the damn time of their lives on them dates. Like, it's no way they can make me believe they want to stay in these long-term relationships, how they was acting on them dates with them other women. Like, they just act like, oh, this is it. But anywho, Alessia talked about how she enjoyed her date because the guy Chris really sat and listened to the things she was saying, unlike what Darian will do. And although it was good, she opted out not to go on a second date with him. But she has many more to go on. Jessica said that Randon was a cool and handsome guy, but she did not want to go on another date with him because he was a 32-year-old man that never had a real committed relationship before, and that was just a turnoff. And it would be to me as well, because how you 32 and never had a real relationship? Like, you just dating forever? Like, what? Boy, please. LaRonda talked about how she also enjoyed her date with John and talked about the song he made for her. Now, she didn't have to say all that, but Shon expressed how her being on that date really broke him down, and he went into an emotional state that had him crying about her being on a date with that man. And y'all, he really did. Like, he was boo crying. We seen it. And I think because of that, LaRonda opted not to go on another date with John. At least that is the reason she said. But it didn't make sense because at the end of the day, you're going to go on another date with someone else. So Shon has to suck it up and man up. Y'all knee deep in it now, so ain't no point of trying to, not hurt his feelings. And his emotions wasn't all that hurt when he went on that date with who he went on a date with. So the double standards be so real, and I don't like that. But we just getting started, so we'll see what happens farther down the line. So with that being said, you already know what it is and how it goes down over here. Go down below, comment your thoughts, and let's discuss. Like this video, and last but certainly not least, subscribe and join the Queen Bye.